Save 8% off your order at TruTechTools.com by using the Shop Talk discount code. Hey, welcome back, Stephen.
Hey, Zach. How are you?
I'm great, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing well.
See, all we have to have is like the very minimalist intro here and just go right back to what we were conversating about before the show went live. So, to catch everybody up, this is Stephen Rardon. He was on YouTube at one time, but he found success in the real world, so he didn't return to YouTube, I think is the summary. Does that sound right?
I suppose.
Well, you're a busy guy now. Okay, we can talk about how busy you are. Tell them how busy you are. You're telling me.
So we started our maintenances for the spring, and young man that's in the comments is a pretty damn good salesman. So we are booked with installs and maintenances that we had already scheduled until May 15th. Wow.
And for reference, this is the young man right here that is the catalyst for this success.
He came on board a little while back, and he's been knocking it out of the park.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I know he did a good job because I remember, like back in the day, we're talking about Nicholas Mumby. He used to do YouTube videos when he was living out west, because I can't remember exactly where it was at. But he did a really good job on those videos.
Yeah, Zona. He was in Zona.
Is that what it was? Yeah, because I remember they were running some line sets below the ground and corrugated material under the driveway. It was pretty impressive. So, is he just like you with like the testing and stuff like that?
Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't have hired him if he wasn't something like me.
Well, you know, there's people out there that's like testing. I don't know. We don't need to know what the static pressure is.
We were working a job the other day, doing an aeroseal project, and we were talking about measurements and hooking up Measure Quick or whatever, and I was like, when I first started doing like iManifold stuff, I would go to a basic service call and I'd be like, I'm just going to get pressures. I don't really care as long as the evap temperature is okay. It's fine. I don't need all the rest of it. And then I would be like, oh, it's only going to take me like 10 seconds to hook up superheat and subcool. So I'll get that. And then I'd hook that up and I'd be like, so air probes won't be that hard. Let me just throw some probes in. And by the end of it, I'm taking amp draws and, creating a full report because I'm a geek.
So the iManifold, of course, is dead now. You're using the Philippines probes, as I recall.
Yep.
So do you have all of them? You have the static pressure ones as well?
Yes.
Every single call, right? Every single one.
I won't lie on live YouTube. Not every single call.
Stephen only lies on pre-recorded YouTube.
Static pressure does not come out very often for gas packs or heat pump package units because it's really a pain in the ass to get to the place where you would get static pressure on a package unit without drilling a hole through the side of the unit.
That's, you know what, over my years, I have always wondered, like, what could I do so I could be better with package units? Because, you know, if I want to take like a lot of readings, you know, I'm not going to take the hood apart. That's a lot of work. You know,
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. And on a couple of occasions, I hate to even say this, I'm not going to say where it was. I've drilled holes in package units and plugged the holes and like put like something over them. But now I feel bad saying that on air. Like the homeowner's gonna be like, so that's why there's a hole in the side of my unit or something. But you know, I wanted to read it, you know.
When I was using iManifold at Cape Fear, they did a lot of package units in Fayetteville. And the iManifold static probes are just these tiny little magnet rings and this tiny little tube in the middle of that magnet. And if you shoot a 5/16 screw, you can use the hole from that screw if you pierce the insulation to get static on the pack. So you didn't even have to drill a big hole. You could just shoot a 5/16 self-tapper through, you know, shove a piece of stat wire or whatever through that hole to pierce the insulation, and then you just stick your magnet to it. And then when you're done, you just put the 5/16 screw back in it, and you've plugged the hole.
Well, hold the phone here. I don't remember. I never had these probes. So you're telling me there's no actual probe to it? It's just like it mounts it. It's right there on the side of the duct, and there's nothing that penetrates the ductwork.
Right.
I'll be daggone. I need to Google something. Good. I never saw those before. So that's kind of cool though, if you can do that.
Yeah. So sometimes I'd be able to find like one of the door screws on the return side of a train package unit. If you pierce the insulation behind that screw, you don't even have to drill an extra hole. You just pull that screw out, pierce the insulation, stick your little magnet on it. I can't think of the part number, but TruTech has them now, so I don't have to be denied a sale from iManifold.
Poor iManifold. Actually, not poor them. They did stupid stuff. So not poor them. Poor us, because it could have been so nice. We could have had a, I don't know. It's like Eminem singing a song. We could have been together, but now we're not. It's Stan if you guys want to listen.
Right. So it's a 921M is the static pressure meter for it. But I'm trying to figure out where.
There it is right there.
I don't want to be added to your mailing list for 5% off, TruTech. I'm already on it.
5% off.
I
use my own code. Your code's still active, Stephen?
Yeah.
Man.
I'm still getting paid on that one too.
If you're people, because you're successful at work, now hear me out here. If your people will just use my code, I will probably overtake what I assume is Gary McCready and Brian Orr to become the strongest and most powerful person there. So just consider that. I mean, you don't need it. I mean, obviously you're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
I mean, you can't afford combs or nothing, but besides that, everything's fine.
No, I haven't been able to buy beard oil for a while.
Beard oil. Have you used beard oil before?
Yeah, it gets all over my phone screen.
I don't get. Okay, all right. Take me through this. No, take me through this beard oil, because the whole idea of beard oil, it seems like I have to. I don't want to even say this. You have to go to an aisle in the grocery store where maybe they have. I'm not going to say it, but just explain to me what beard oil is.
It's just like any other cosmetic. I mean, you could use vacuum pump oil if you wanted to be all HVAC life, but you just put a little bit in your palm, rub it on your hands, and then you work it into your hair. And it does help moisturize, which is half the reason I look like a caveman right now, because I could stand to use some. And like I said, the problem I have is once you get the oil on your beard, every time I go to answer my iPhone and I pinch it between my shoulder and my face, the screen gets oil all over it from the beard, which probably means I use too much, but you know.
That's wild. Does the phone ever go?
Every once in a while.
It's like it just shoots across the room. Dang it, too much.
Where'd it go? It's in the insulation.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's covered in insulation now because there's beard oil all over it. I don't know. I never, my beard's not that long, but the whole idea of beard oil, it sounds like you said cosmetic, like it's a cosmetic. I don't know. I'm not even going to say it, but there's a guy in the chat talking about using beard oil. So
yep.
Jack Black beard oil. And so Jack Black even makes beard oil.
Oh, nice.
Hey, you never know. But you still, hey, that's one of the questions we had right there. The why no mustache question. We're not even going to get into that. Steven's actually, he's Amish, whatever, he came down from Pennsylvania. He learned about, he was shunned, first of all. Here, that's good. He was shunned. You ever seen one in Lifetime movies? He was shunned. He came down here. He realized there was technology. He met Jim Bergman. He found all the technology he could ever need, and now he shuns them right back. And, but the style he likes. Style's the same.
You know what? Bergman sent me a text message the other day. He said, you should check out our new Measure Quick website. I was like, yeah. He's like, I think you'll like it. So I go to the Measure Quick website, and there's my picture on that main page. And I said, nice. Appreciate the, whatever. Because they had asked for pictures a while back. And I sent some in using field piece probes and Measure Quick. And he said, not in a million years did I ever think we would have a man with a man bun on the front page of my website.
All right. For those of you who are not listening to this, because this will be a podcast later, you poor deprived podcast listeners, I'm sorry. But here it is right here. It's going to scroll through here. I don't know if there's we're just going to scroll through there naturally. I don't know who this guy is. Who cares? I see Steven's coming up, though, because he does. He had a man bun, and, you can see the beard oil dripping off his beard onto the unit. And he just uses that oil to clean it and wax the unit. So he's very efficient. This is going to take forever now. It's not going to come back up. Come on now.
Right.
I'm gonna refresh here. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Snap. There he is. Oh, man. Look at that.
Nice little picket fence in the backyard.
Man, that's perfect. 7 years ago, we worked on this unit. Had to be right. Yeah. All things you've never heard, I'm sure. Right. So what's the deal with Measure Quick? You're still using it quite a bit, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. They're actually launching a new initiative that I couldn't tell you the details of, but they're wanting to track system performance based on what you're doing in the field on real systems that aren't like test units or whatever. I think it's something along the lines where they say that 70% of residential systems are not operating anywhere near their apparent efficiency ratings. Jimmy Berg.
Look at that.
He's a smart sucker.
You're complimenting my trimness, and thank you, by the way. And that's my way of reminding everybody that I lost weight. But Jim lost weight. Have you seen him lately?
Other than the Florida pictures, no, I hadn't.
He had trimmed up too. So somebody called him buff. I was like, good grief, Jim Bergman's buff. So that makes Jim the whole package. Everybody, looks and braids.
Right.
It's pretty good. And there he is, right there. Very smart guy. Very smart guy. So.
We just picked up a couple of the field piece SC 680s, I think, because beginning of this initiative to test system equipment or efficiency, Measure Quick is going to integrate with the SC 680 and the SC 480, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll have an alternative to Redfish, which, I do like the Redfish meter, probably for the fact that it was the first one to tie into Measure Quick, but the amp clamp on that thing is like trying to wrap my arm around, a small hole. And the field piece definitely has a much smaller jaw that isn't as girthy.
Yeah. That field piece is big, though. That thing is huge.
Yeah.
But it has some really good features. I mean, I like the twisting head. I always like that thing, man.
Yeah. It's actually my first field piece meter ever. I mean, I had UEI that looks like a field piece from the old days, the one you can get for $89 at the supply house.
Oh, yeah.
But the Redfish does not do flame signal, microamps DC. So the Redfish does, which makes it a better fit. But it is like 14 inches long. It's massive in that way versus having large amp clamp jaws. Yeah.
Well, I used this was the first one you've used, field piece, is SC680?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you not use the older brands like the 76 and the 77 coming up or anything?
Nope.
Wow. I've always liked their meters. SC57, that's the best meter ever. Hey, Brent, really, if you're watching, you can send it anytime.
Yeah.
You're supposed to send it to me like a year ago.
I was a Fluke guy originally.
Oh, my gosh.
Once I actually could afford to buy one. I ran the 902 before it was ever wireless option. And then my bench meter, I don't remember which one it was.
115? I don't know why I say that.
Might have. I think it was a 200 series, but it was one of the newer versions of the old classic Fluke bench meter, and I really enjoyed, all the features that it had because it was a full-fledged HVAC, the 902, full-fledged HVAC meter, and then I got the Redfish 5, whatever the first one. And I actually enjoyed that one as well. I came around, I had a workaround for having to tie my current clamp in with the plugs rather than actually having an amp clamp lead on it or head. And I enjoyed that. But I couldn't take volts and amps at the same time or I'd get really screwed up readings. Because it was using the same leads for both measurements.
Oh.
I probably shouldn't lift my arms. I haven't changed my shirt yet.
Oh, don't be ashamed. It's all right. You're a working man. These people love working men. They'll be all right. Not inappropriately. I mean, they appreciate it. So is that the meter you're using now? Like if someone calls you out on service tomorrow morning, you're using the SC680?
I haven't actually had to use it yet, but it's in the truck. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's nice. I think it's like
I have to get used to the way they do their feature selection, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the 902 was like an auto ranging meter, so you just put it to volts, and then it would read volts whatever range you wanted.
Mm-hmm. And
with the Redfish and the field piece, you have to pick your 100 or 1000 or whatever.
But those two are power meters, and the FC is not, though.
Right.
So that comes in handy to have that feature to do the watts.
Yeah,
you have to. Yeah.
There's power factor on the 680 as well.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's got phase rotation. It's probably a diode test. It can
NCV.
Yeah, got the voltage detection. Yeah, it's got everything. It's too much for me because I had one for a while. Philippines sent out. It's too much stuff. I don't use most of it. I don't use a lot of it ever. So stepping it down to like the SC. This is what the lady told me. The lady that from Philippines at Tina, French. I'm sure you know who that is.
I've not talked to anybody at Field Piece.
I find that hard to believe, Stephen. You've never talked to Field Piece before?
Nope.
Really? Okay. Well, that's why you just got the meter for the first time, I guess.
Right. They never reached out to me. And after being let down by somebody, I can't even remember who let me down on asking for advertising. I kind of gave up. I was like, yeah, I'll just stick to TrueTech. Those guys are cool.
Yeah, TrueTech is cool. They're a good bunch of people. Geez, I don't even. Oh yeah, I was gonna say the 680 being so overkill. But this lady told me that if I like the SC57, which is my favorite of all time, that the SC480 would be appropriate. It's smaller and it still does the stuff that you probably need too. And it's I think it's a power meter as well.
Yeah, I just figured I'd go for the biggest and baddest, you know.
I don't blame you. You were in high school. You probably drove a Z28. You were homeschooled.
Yeah, I had a 96 Trans Am.
That's the same
but,
thing.
You know,
that was a great call on my part. That's exactly right. Oh, Trans Am. All right, Michael Knight. That doesn't have the same effect driving up to homeschool.
No.
You know, it's like we all already know you own this car. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I forgot all about that. Homeschool. Were you homeschooled like the whole way?
No. We started because we were in Africa from when I was 4 till 10 years old. So the first 4 years of my schooling, career, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. And then when I got back, we went to a private Christian school for a while, but then I got in trouble for not paying attention. And so Mom took me back out, and I finished high school homeschooling.
Oh, wow. So how long were you at the private Christian school before you got thrown out for being such a I don't pay attention boy?
Excuse me.
That's going to come through real well, Stephen.
Yes, it will.
That wasn't as bad as you think. I'd have to go like that.
You can edit that out for the other video.
We don't edit nothing here anymore. We're just like we put it out raw. We want the whole conversation, sneezes and all. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. What was the question?
I think going back, it was okay. So from 4 to 10, you were in Africa. So you were in Africa for 6 years. So you really grew up in Africa.
I did.
Wow. So you're like African American. Is that inappropriate? Because people in South Africa are African American. So
right.
And I'm not. And we're not gonna try to get in any weeds here. I'm just saying. Okay.
Right.
So 4 to 10, you're in Africa. What's it like over there in school? I know this is not HVAC related, but it's just curiosity related, and this is my show. So, what was it like in school?
We were homeschooled in Africa, so there really wasn't much of a thing. But the school situation there is a lot of boarding type schools where the kids actually come and live at school rather than going back and forth.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I saw some videos of somebody who went over there as far as doing mission work.
Yeah.
And which is probably somebody gave a thumbs down, Roger. We'll find the person. They're on the list. Don't worry.
It's one of my many haters.
Well, Stephen, I don't know. we share plenty of people. We won't get into that either. Let's just blow past it. See, again, I don't remember what I was saying now. Okay, I got it. I watched a video. Somebody went over there, and it looked like all the kids were living at the school. It was like they were spending all their time there. So I guess that's pretty common. So why did you go to Africa in the first place? Why did your parents go there?
My father was part of, and you'll love this if you think I'm Amish. We were part of a Mennonite organization.
It's all coming together now.
My dad was helping plant churches for the Mennonite group and develop the congregation in country.
Was it ever dangerous over there? You know how people represent Africa as there's various warlords. 20% of the countries are at civil war at any given time. Was it like that over there, or was it just whatever?
We were in the country Botswana, which is right next to Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe has always been volatile. So there were some times of unrest where if you were traveling, you could get, potentially assaulted or carjacked.
Well,
But Botswana is very much more like a republic than a lot of the other countries, which are like dictatorships and crap like that. We didn't experience anything, but there have been instances where things aren't quite right. And, you may not want to walk outside at nighttime unless you're carrying a big gun.
Well, I like this, that Justin Beaver just told me my mic hasn't been working this whole time. It's been a different mic. I hope this sounds much better now.
It does sound different. I don't know what happened.
The other one the other one is a webcam that's right here, and it was picking that one up.
Oh, wow.
I bet that sounded like crap. You people couldn't tell me that it sounded so awful. Good grief. Oh, man. Hey, look, Steve's like, I noticed that too, but Justin said something. Steve. Jeez. Now that the first 20 minutes is going to sound like rat crap. Oh, well, let's move on. That's fine.
You said you roll live, right?
We roll live. Hey, live. It's like that every week. I should have never plugged in this stupid camera. I should have never plugged it in. I'll chuck it. I'll chuck it in the river or whatever. That was just interesting. I didn't mean to go off on like life in Africa and stuff, but it's interesting. And I remember you made videos about it and stuff like that. I remember you went back to Africa. So when you go back to Africa, was that like a mission trip then?
No. Well, we've had several trips. We were fortunate enough to be able to return to the village we grew up in 20 years later. And I made one. Did I post it on your channel? Was it you made one? My wife has a channel that she had posted some Africa videos on. But then more recently, like 2017 and 2019, we went to Kenya as a mission. So, yeah, if you look up Rardon on YouTube, you'll find my mom and my wife, and my wife's got some slideshow videos of our trips to Africa.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
There you are.
Hey, look, there you are. Dun, 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 dun. I hope everybody's watching Indiana Jones. That makes perfect sense to you. If not, then I'm just an idiot sounding. Oh, that's kind of interesting. It is a nice slideshow. Can we show this?
Yeah.
It's okay. All right. I don't want to show a bunch of family pictures where you guys like,
you've got it muted, so that's the important part.
I do have it muted, so YouTube is not gonna whatever they do because I'm sure there's music.
Actually took pictures of the air conditioners I ran into over there.
Typical tradesman. Hey, I worked on that house, bro. Yeah.
Right.
Man, we don't need no words and stuff. Come on, let's skip ahead. Oh, look at that. There's where Steven lived. Well, that's what? Yeah, what kind of house did you live in there? Because we all picture like about a straw hut with like spears around it and stuff. I mean, but what's the truth?
When we first went there, we lived with the village chief, and he had a cinder block house with a corrugated, galvanized or whatever roof. And then they built a house for us while we were there. And it was a cinder block house with a metal roof. So we lived in a brick house most of the time.
Look at that. Hey, that looks a little claustrophobic right there.
Yeah. That is one of the most mind-blowing things to experience when you go to the dump or the landfill and you realize that there are 2 million people living in a landfill.
So that all those pictures that I know, I'm sorry, podcast people, but it's a bunch of kids wading through a landfill. So that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yep. That is a landfill.
That is disgusting. I mean, like so what's all the people doing just walking through there?
Scavenging.
Oh my gosh.
They're looking for scraps to recycle, take to the scrapyard.
It's incredible.
Those birds, not that you'll see it on podcast land, but those birds are 5 foot tall.
Good grief.
They're like massive vultures.
That's incredible. That's wild. What an experience.
All those words that you didn't want to see, those explained what the dump is.
This makes sense now. Okay, I'm gonna find. I'm gonna leave the words up on the screen. And oh wait, there's multiple words.
Yeah. So the dump was commissioned in 1975, and it is an what's the word, babe?
Unbelievable wonder.
Yeah, it's an unrestricted dumping site, and they get 2,000 tons of trash every day. But there's medical waste, all sorts of waste goes into this landfill because it's the best of the bad options for somebody.
Wow.
But the people that live in the landfill actually get charged rent for the space that they occupy.
That live in the landfill?
Yep.
Like, okay, now when you say live in the landfill, are you living under trash bags, or if people build a house amidst the trash?
That claustrophobic picture you showed?
Right.
Those are the houses.
See if I can find the claustrophobic picture. Oh, no, that's not it. That's the houses?
Yep. Those are built on top of landfill nasty.
So which one of those houses are yours? I'm just kidding. I don't know. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's wild. Let's see. I'm a fast forward just so we can see an elephant or a lion or something. Well, maybe not. Oh no. Oh, that's nice. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a more appropriate house, or a nice house for that area.
It's better than the landfill.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
They got some green stuff in the yard.
Yeah. That's grass for you podcast guys. It's grass. So I'll stop this now because we don't reference too many pictures, and there will be podcast people like, well, this ain't worth it to listen to, and we need them to listen. We need to listen at least until the ad break. So we need to keep them here. Oh no, the secret's out. No, okay. So let's see. Let's try to veer back into HVAC. How can we do that from Africa? I can play the song "Africa" by Toto, which I think is great. Da, 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 da. But no, let's not do that. Let's see. Let's talk about your business. That's it.
All right.
We'll start with the very generic. How's business?
Wide open.
Wide open. Oh yeah, you mentioned you're booked out for almost a month.
Yeah.
Nicholas is lighting it up with sales, although he didn't stay on the stream. I think he went and fell asleep or something.
Yeah, he's probably over on his Xbox games or whatever.
Oh, okay. Nicholas play. How old is he? He wouldn't mind.
30-something.
30-something. You're 30-something as well, or did you reach 40-something now?
I'm almost 40-something.
Oh, are you? Oh, no, he's here. Okay. So you're not quite 40 yet.
No.
I thought you were that close that you would be. Man. Well, but you still got time left, you know.
Top 30 under 30.
Oh, did I ever tell you? Did I tell you the story?
Or top 40 under 40? Was that what it was?
Yeah. It's 40 under 40. Did I tell you the 40 under 40 story? I don't remember if I did or not.
I don't know.
My happy experience.
I'm not sleeping. I'm not gaming. Nick says.
He's not sleeping. Okay, hey, he's here. He's learning about HVAC, or just listening. Really, not learning anything at the present.
No, definitely not learning anything.
Not yet. We learned that in Africa, people live on top of the dump, which is disgusting. That's what we learned so far, and it makes me feel bad. But oh yeah, the 40 under 40 people reached out to me, and for years it was like the running joke that I couldn't make the 40 under 40. Probably because I didn't deserve to be on the 40 under 40, but still a fun joke. Right. So we get to like, I'm now 40, or, I'm not 40 anymore, but I was at the time. I was 40, and they sent me a thing that said, congratulations, you made the 40 under 40. And I was like sitting there thinking, this is a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
it's so good that I'm not even in the 30s any longer, and I made it. So I said, I'm 40, right? He says, is it some kind of retroactive thing where I qualified before? He's like, no, you didn't make it. Sorry. You're 40. We didn't realize that. I was like, and I said, I'm going to use this shame that this guy must feel to my advantage. And I said, well, you know what? if I can't make it, I'd like to nominate Brent Ridley.
Yeah.
And Brent Ridley made the 40 under 40
Nice.
because he deserves to be there. And I
Yeah.
looked through the list, and a bunch of them I don't even know. You were on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were on there. I saw Tersh was on there.
Yep.
AK made it on there. It's actually kind of fascinating that so many of our little group actually made it to this list.
Yeah.
We're
if Ralph
powerful.
wasn't so old.
Yeah. Oh man, they would have to go way back in time for Ralph. But if he were younger, he would have made it probably.
Yeah.
And there's a few more. I think Gary made it, the one who does HVAC Know It All. I'm
McCready.
sure Brian made it. Brian doesn't deserve to be on there, but he made it. I'm just kidding, of course. He's not watching. He doesn't watch this show. I'm gonna text him right now. Hey, here we go. Where's my phone at? Watch this. This will be good. See if he even answers.
Nick says, "Can we get back to HVAC now?"
Well, we never got there in the beginning. We can't go back. We have to start. I gotta text Brian real quick. Hold on, guys. Hey, are you watching my live stream? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys he's not. So it's just funny. Okay, let's talk back to HVAC. You said business is booming. Nick has sold a whole bunch of jobs.
Yep.
So, anything interesting that we can expound on?
We are having an absolute nightmare getting equipment right now. So Nick has coordinated a couple of high-end train system installs, but we can't get the equipment because the roof caved in during the ice storm in Texas.
Oh,
and
wow.
So one of the jobs waiting right now is already been waiting for 6 weeks since we sold the job.
What's the system condition where they're waiting 6 weeks? What's their current system condition?
I don't remember how old it is, but it's like 15 years old and it's leaking evaporator.
Oh, so out there right now, it's getting less and less efficient as we speak. Okay.
Yeah. And that's where we were talking about earlier, not hooking up all my probes, but saying, oh, I can go ahead and hook up, superheat and subcool, or I can hook up my static pressure. I was like, Nick, because he had gassed it up when he originally sold the job. And we were out there to do an aero seal on the system, which was part of the job. And I said, just hook up and get pressures, make sure the evaporator temperature's, 38 degrees or whatever. And he's like, it'll only take me a second to hook up superheat and subcool and get outdoor temperature. And I was like, okay, fine. Go ahead.
So all those guys out there that won't hook up the other probes, it's kind of BS. They just don't want to go in there and just hook them up. Just takes a second, except for minus the package unit. Not talking about package unit, just a regular split system. It really doesn't take that much effort to, because around where we're at, we can just find a close grill. Even you don't have to go up there to the machine unless it's in the attic. It's like 1,000 degrees up there, but you can find a grill. It's better than nothing. And your static pressure probes are going to have to be up there, but
yeah,
man, you get a lot of information.
Beaver was saying that every train heist here is almost impossible. Right now, I'm waiting on 2 furnaces. I've got the XV condensers, but I'm waiting on 2 modulating furnaces. And
oh, wow.
It'll probably be 8 weeks by the time I get one of them.
But still, I guess if you're selling something like that, which is going to be obviously expensive and a good job for the company too. I mean, if you had to gas somebody up a couple of times,
yeah,
okay, whatever.
No problem.
Yeah, who cares?
So we started with an aero seal yesterday for this customer, and we made an 85% improvement on the duct leakage, which took them from not code compliant to 4% leakage on a duct system from 1971. And then another piece of that same package that was offered was a 6K mini split for the garage. So we did that today.
Wow. I love it when I'm in the middle of a live stream and one of my children pops in the door. Hey, come on, get on the live stream. Come on, let's hear what you know about HVAC. Come on over. No, don't take the mic because it'll make a horrible noise.
This is Cowboys of HVAC.
Oh my gosh. Steven, as the gamers would say, you're toxic. Right, Landon? That's a gamer term. All right, you better disappear now or else you're gonna have repercussions after we're done. The little boy's gonna die. That's a shame. I sure will miss him. I can't wait. Bye, little boy. Bye, little
Should
boy.
I answer the is that Steven, HVAC Residential Basics?
That is Steve. Yes, you can answer that question. Absolutely.
So AeroSeal, in simple explanation, is like fix a flat for your ductwork. You connect to the duct system, you close off the boots, you isolate the equipment, and you use their AeroSeal machine to spray what is basically, in similar terms, Elmer's glue into the ductwork. And as it is spraying through the ductwork, it'll find the holes and close them up. We started with like 22% duct leakage, I think. And after about an hour and a half, I think, of running the AeroSeal machine, we got down to 4% duct.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it is a polymer. But they basically told me when I did their course to be a dealer that it's like Elmer's glue. And it looks like it. I mean, it comes in gallon jugs that look like giant Elmer's glue jugs.
I'll try to find some accompanying video material here.
But it comes with a 10-year warranty, I think. But they've actually never had a failure that wasn't like malicious or, intentional damage to the sealing of the ductwork.
How's that even work? A warranty on AeroSeal? Like if you see chunks of it flying out the register like a week later?
No, it's more like if the duct system doesn't stay sealed naturally.
How would you know? your energy bill, I guess. I
don't know.
I'm trying to find this guy doing AeroSeal here. Oh, he's explaining it. Yes, AeroSeal is great. I use it every day of my life. That's what he's saying. Sealing up the outlets. I want to see some chunks flying in everywhere. Oh, there's going to be a bunch of data and stuff. So let's say if you're putting AeroSeal in a really old house, what are you doing testing it beforehand? I mean, are you doing some comparison testing? Mm-hmm. Are you ever afraid that it's going to make it so the system that's on it? Are you always putting a new system in? Let me ask you that first.
No.
When you're doing this. No.
No.
So let me ask a follow-up real quick then. So have you ever had it where it causes a substantial increase in static that causes a problem? Because you no longer have air escaping?
Right. If you've got good static before, it will increase static, depending on how much you're leaking. But if you do a static pressure test and you're at like 0.7, that's not a good client to sell AeroSeal to, because you're going to push it to 1.5 inches or whatever. So it's a consultative approach where you assess the system's performance so that if you sell AeroSeal, you also offer modifications like we need to enlarge this return because your return static's 0.6 and your supply static's 0.4 were obviously too big for the ductwork or whatever. But when you have those houses that have 1971 duct systems, you are in a good place to go ahead and do it because it's all metal duct. It leaks like crazy, but if it's not rotting to pieces, then you can seal it up, and the insulation value, as long as the outside's not ripped up, isn't that big of a deal if you stop leaking.
I'm finding some better material here for you. Justin said this old house has got a great thing
Yeah.
here. And this is where the doodads go in, and this is where the things suck onto. Well, okay. So if you're doing AeroSeal, does that mean you're also doing like whole house improvements as well? Are you up there putting in something to around can lights in the attic? Are you caulking holes in walls and stuff? Who's the dude? Are you Nate Adamsing houses?
We are in the HVAC 2.0 group. I'm one of the founding members of that project, or I don't know, one of the original members. And so we are offering improvement opportunities beyond HVAC. We did a consult for a customer that has a house built in 1904, and the house leaks like crazy. The duct system is garbage. And so we gave them a consultation to help them understand where to spend money to make the most improvement within their concerns of operation for the system. But yeah, we will do some targeted air sealing for certain projects, because you can buy a froth pack that allows you to do isolated or targeted foam jobs. The people that spray whole houses for spray foam use a big semi truck, and that's beyond our capability. I don't have $100,000 to spend on a semi truck. But
Cheapskate.
well,
I got 2 semi trucks in my backyard. All I had to do was ask.
not enough YouTube money. But yeah, we are trying to help people understand. NorCal Dave, what's happening? Trying to understand their home's performance overall. And RJ Parker, Aero Barrier is the sister or brother or cousin to AeroSeal, and that is what is used for whole houses. And you get a lot of that information on Matt Reisinger's channel, because he gets paid to advertise for AeroSeal.
Oh, did you wink? Is that a wink? I think he winked. I know who Matt Reisinger is. He makes some. I don't really watch him. I know he makes a lot of construction videos, various, including HVAC. Every now and then he'll make an HVAC video.
He likes to talk about his Mitsubishi mini splits and ducted Mitsubishis.
Oh man, that's boring. Come on now. Susie says, "Does AeroSeal work?" He
Absolutely.
said yes. I didn't even have a chance to read the question, and he said yes. All right, it must really work then. It looked like it worked in that picture there. We just watched it on there. They had that little screen up. It definitely plugged up the screen.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about there? How big chunks can we make there?
They say 5/8 hole will plug itself without a screen.
That's impressive. 5/8 is a decent size hole. Hey, plug up your iManifold ports.
Right. The house we just did yesterday is the second house that we have taken an old 1970s duct system to beyond current code. So it definitely works to reduce duct leakage.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Now, do you do any new duct systems?
Yes.
So what's your procedure with that? I'm sure you're not aero sealing those.
Well, we were curious. The customer was already on board to do AeroSeal, even though we were replacing all the ductwork. And so we didn't try to seal anything. Well, that's kind of a lie, but it's mostly true. We taped the plenums to the unit and, the S-lock joints or whatever. But we didn't seal anything like collars or boot connections or anything. We painted the boots to the subfloor, but beyond that, everything between the subfloor and the plenums was completely unsealed. We started off all new round metal ductwork with some flex in there somewhere. We were like 170 CFM of leakage, and we ran AeroSeal on that down to 2%.
2%. All right. When you're doing this is Is
on a-
AeroSeal the whole rig measures like a duct blaster measures too? I'm not familiar with how
Yeah.
the rig works, so it has it all built in together. The
It's
testing
got a
apparatus.
DG 700 manometer built in, and the blower is basically TEC duct blaster.
And you're separating. Obviously, you separated the equipment from the job you're doing. So is that what it's testing? Is it testing everything but the equipment that would be in place?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's going to be a small amount of leakage there, but that's pretty good. 2%.
Yeah. What you're supposed to do is test it without isolating the equipment, and then isolate the equipment to do the sealing, and then take out your isolation blocks from the equipment and do the test out.
Okay.
I don't bother because my choices in air handlers are not leaky pieces of garbage. And I figure if I'm isolated when I test in, I'm still measuring duct leakage, and that's what I'm trying to fix. I'm not trying to seal up an air handler with AeroSeal.
Yeah, that'd be bad. Still have a coil with it. That'd be
Yeah.
bad.
I did AeroSeal for a project when we did a system in Pilot Mountain out past Winston-Salem. And I actually pulled the blower out of the air handler, and I pulled the heat strips and just put a piece of metal over the heat strip hole and used the blower slider bars to put a plug there. And then we used the filter slot on the air handler and put in a piece of metal there to isolate the equipment, and seal that all the way down. So I didn't have to worry about, heat strips getting anything on them, or the blower wheel or the coil.
Interesting.
Worked
So
really well.
you sealed it off at the blower and the heat strip, just like it would be without any strips in it. You just left the
Yeah.
metal right there. So is the compartment where the heat strips extend, was that covered with AeroSeal?
On the cracks, but no, not covered. So AeroSeal doesn't actually stick to the duct. It sticks to the holes.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wondered how it responds to extreme heat. Like with the heat strips being in close proximity.
No.
No
it
issues?
would actually help it harden, I think.
Nice.
Warming it up.
Let's see what the limits on heat strips are. What, 150 or 160 degrees or something like that. So I mean, they're not getting hotter than that then. So I guess that's not too bad.
When we were doing our AeroSeal day before yesterday, we had temperatures up to 300 degrees in the AeroSeal machine.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
it blows it in hot.
You know that. So is it sort of like when they do the insulation in the house then? Because that's pretty hot whenever they blow that stuff in. Same procedure or same sort of apparatus, I guess, to get it done. They
spray the glue into the trunk, the plastic tube, and they have a heater behind the fan. And so the glue is sprayed to aerosolize it, and it's heated to like 300 degrees when it's going into the duct system. NorCal Dave asked a question about duct testing. So, and Zach could answer this as well, but we are required to show a duct test on replacement retrofit duct systems if you replace all of it, or new construction.
Yeah.
Interesting thing is, if you don't replace all of it, which means you leave one supply or some piece of the system's ductwork, you don't have to do a duct test.
That's what I would do.
What's interesting is I went to a customer that was complaining about comfort in the far end of their house, and they had a duct test from one of the companies I used to work for, but after I left, that said that they were at 4.9% leakage, and 5% is our target for code compliance. Just to confirm, I went ahead and did a duct leakage test because we were going to modify the ductwork. And we found out that instead of 4.9% leakage, it was actually 14.9%.
Oh no.
So it was a 3 times failure of code compliance. And the only thing we can figure is that they just pencil whipped the duct report.
Well, let me tell you, I have some experience in this area and knowledge. You and Dave saying that they have a third party that does it. Well, there's third parties here that'll do it for you. Obviously, if you don't own the gear, you'll hire like a guy to come in.
They'll pencil it a little tighter.
Well, all you had to do, and let me tell you, if you're a contractor here, and not to be critical of government, but they should keep their mitts off my stuff as far as I'm concerned, but it is what it is. If you go get there's a form you fill out. So this is what the system showed. You can just go there and fill it out and hand it to them. They don't check and see if you did anything. When I did the duct system at this house that I'm living in now, they didn't even check. They didn't ask for the form or anything. I didn't even get the test. They just didn't ask. Now I did a good job with the duct work, but it's just funny. I mean, no one even mentioned it. They didn't even care. So, I mean, it's not like it's stringently imposed here, but I think California is probably different.
One of the jurisdictions around here actually says that if you read the code properly, you don't have to duct test retrofit duct systems at all. It's all residential new construction. And I'm like, I read the same code that you have, and it says new ductwork should be tested. And I'm like,
that's what I thought.
How do you say that it's RNC only?
Yeah. Well, like you said, we do a duct system. And if you think about it, you could technically, if there's any part of the duct system that's existing, it negates the need for the test. So like I said, you could have a boot in the floor and say, I'm not going to change this boot. So we have some existing duct work and technically whatever. But a lot of times here, you'll have stuff that's it's inaccessible. You have like a chase in a wall or something like that, which you really can't actually change duct work. So it kind of doesn't matter what you feel about it. But that's something I wanted to ask you. You have the AeroSeal thing. So if you have these chases in walls or these old framed return where you have like it's just boxed in with sheetrock, can you seal those up as well? Does that work?
Absolutely. Let me see if I can find it so I don't make stories up here. I did a project for another contractor actually. So we had this guy call us. He was changing a system, didn't want to have to rebuild this return chase that was between the attic decking and the second floor sheetrock. Went through the duct or through the sheetrock here, and then there was a collar on the other end. All he wanted to do was seal that one section, which was like 10 feet of chase. So in that 10 feet chase between the rafters, under the attic deck, above the ceiling sheetrock, there was 143.5 CFM of leakage.
Holy crap.
It was equivalent to a 27 square inch hole in 10 feet of duct or chase. By the time we were done, we were down to 12.1 CFM of leakage or a 2.3 square inch hole, almost a 92% improvement or reduction in leakage.
That'd be like having a 4-inch duct to just blowing into the attic or something. Just imagine that. That's wild. That's really cool though. I mean, when you're doing the AeroSeal jobs, are you like doing the jobs firsthand? Are you the guy who's there doing the job?
Yep.
You don't sub it out to Nicholas, make him do it?
It's a at least 2-man job. I couldn't handle it as a 1-man operation.
But it's just you and him, right?
Yeah.
So how do you handle all the extra stuff when you're doing those type jobs? I mean, did you do them last summer? Let me ask you that.
Yeah.
So how'd you handle it then in the middle of the summer? I guess December's going to be more busy because your business is still relatively young, so you're increasing every year. So is that a concern? Like, or do you try to get them? It's like, hey, let's do this in the fall. I mean, how do you handle it?
Give them the option. Make a couple of offerings, and if they want to do it, we find time for it.
Man.
But like right now, if I sold an AeroSeal job, I'd be like, end of May.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, that's incredible. No, but congratulations. That's great success. And you're booked out so far. And then train's helping too. I mean,
Yeah.
We had to order them XVs, man.
Yeah. Hey, if I was running 14 SEER, I'd be okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, you could be a Goodman dealer. I mean,
Right.
you got to take the quiz.
Right.
Yep, you're good. You're good. You're good.
You can order it online.
Yes, welcome to Johnstone. No, you don't even have to be in the industry. Buy a Goodman unit, please. Yeah. Well, and you said someone I saw like a barfing symbol when you mentioned what else did someone sold like a Bryant? Said they had to sell Bryant 17 SEER. I think that was Justin. Had to sell Bryant 17 SEER units. They're pretty good, man. What's wrong with Bryant? I like those units. Those are nice.
ICP. It's all basically the same.
ICP, you know me. Was there any Bosch talk earlier? No, we're saving it. We're saving it for you, man, because actually I talked to him beforehand. I was like, we don't have to talk about Bosch tonight. I feel like Bosch is like, he's like the guy that's laying in the alley that you just beat the crap out of for half an hour. So it's like, just don't hit him anymore. Just leave him alone, you know? But there's still issues.
He doesn't feel it.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what he's doing, man. No. What did you mention before? Oh yeah, the inverter boards. So how many have you changed out total?
3.
How many systems are there?
9.
So 33% of all the systems you install, the inverter boards fell within what, a year? It's a small study. Year or two.
Yeah, the first one was definitely within a year. The second one was just out of a year of install. And then the third one was on the same house as the second one. And I think that one made it just under 2 years or something.
Now, what is your opinion on this? You think this is an anomaly or indicative of if you sold 900 Bosch units, you think 300 would have this problem? I mean, what's your impression of the quality and...
Well, the sad thing is I was talking to the supply house rep, and he said another company locally is buying 1 board a week.
Well, that ain't good.
Obviously, they have more volume, or they wouldn't have to do that. But, you know, what volume is it? We'll call it 33%, right? So if they're buying a board every week, that's
52 boards a year. No, I'm curious. I don't know. I've only changed, in my recollection, like 1 inverter board. It was on a mini split, but that was the only one. It was several years old, and it was in a pretty rough environment to be stationed in.
Yeah,
high humidity next to a swamp, frogs inside the unit. I'm not lying. So it was not unexpected, but
well, the interesting thing to me is that out of all 3 of those, every single Bosch I put in has a surge protector, not the crappy ones. The ones
which one's the crappy one? The little Supco one?
The ones that cost $3, the black ones. Yeah, this is Supco. Yeah. I think anyway.
I'll try to find it. Let's see. Go ahead.
You've seen the pictures of them where they burst into flames on the side of the disconnect.
Yeah.
None of those surge protectors have been tripped. So it's not surge protecting problems. Like they say, put it on, protect the inverter board. Well, the inverter board has shit the bed 3 times. And none of the surge protectors have done anything.
All right. I think I have the surge protector, the crappy one. Does that look like it?
Yep.
Supco SCM 150.
Oh, it's $46. I could have swore it was $2.
Well, this might not be the same one either. I just so the surge protectors aren't well. That's okay. Either A, the surge protector's not working, or B, it's not an incident where the surge protector would be a fail-safe. Interesting. Or maybe it's just crepé board, an old French term, which means not very good. Crepé.
Right.
Hey, that's a good question.
Yeah.
What is the train inverter board failure rate? Now, are these the first? You've done trains for like who you work for before, so yeah. Speak to that. What's your experience there?
Well, out of the ones we have installed, we have 0 failures, and I'd have to count, but there's at least 9, I think. We have 3 neighbors that all bought XV.
Salesman, look at you.
Well, the neighbors sold their neighbor on me, or us as
that was your plan all along,
right?
Yeah.
But out of the ones we've installed, knock on wood, we've had 0 inverter board failures, and I've only ever put 1 inverter board in a train. Ever.
I'm no mathematician, but that's better.
Yeah.
0% is better than 33%, even though it's a small scale.
The caveat to all of that is, or my perspective on that is, the train inverter boards are more resilient, apparently, and they control humidity. Very nicely.
Oh man, that is a good thing. I like how you tied the problems together to make one super problem.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, humidity is an issue.
Do we have the beard rustle?
The beard. Oh no, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. No, the beard rustle. That's an audio term, guys.
Ruffle.
Beard rustle.
Whatever.
You have his microphone next to his beard. You get.
That's the 5 o'clock shadow rub.
Your 5 o'clock shadows from a couple weeks ago. Looks like you got 5 o'clock 10 times over. But yeah, well, humidity issue as far as Bosch, I haven't really felt it this year. We're still early on, but I haven't actually been very proactive in trying to solve the problem either, because it wasn't overwhelming bad like some of your customers previously.
What thermostat are you running?
I'm using their thermostat.
Okay.
The BCC
100.
Yeah, I think it is touchscreen.
Yeah.
So I figured that would be the best, right? Their own thermostat.
You would think. If you have issues,
what's
a lot of people
you're talking about if
when you have issues that are worth fixing. I don't think you can adjust cycles per hour on the BCC 100.
I don't think so either.
Swap it out for a Honeywell T10 or a 8000, I think, and drop your cycles per hour as low as you can go.
Yeah.
That's
someone mentioned that. Someone did mention doing that, but with the stat, I don't really think I can.
Yeah.
But I never used a T10 either. I guess it's in that same series as the T6s and T4s.
I think it's taller, like.
Well, we got the internet.
Portrait mode. Shape.
Portrait mode. Oh no!
Vertical video mode.
Bro. Oh no! Steven hates the vertical video, guys. If you want to make a YouTube story, he's gonna hate you, Brent Ridley. Too bad. Too late. He makes them all vertical now because that's like a thing. And YouTube now they have like stories, just like Instagram, and there's shorts. So it's all vertical stuff. They're trying to like copy other platforms or whatever. But
TikTok.
Brent's on TikTok. I want to put that out there too. Brent, I'm gonna invite you back on the show. You can tell everybody why you go on TikTok. Let's see here. I got a bunch of thermostats. You can tell me if this is the ones here.
Yeah. So the T10 is tall, like a small, like the old iPhone.
Oh, look at that thing. So this is the replacement for their high-end thermostat then?
I believe so.
Oh, is it like a Wi-Fi touchscreen?
Yep.
Whatever. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. If it's as simple as a stat, then yeah. I mean, okay, what's that going to do? If I lower my cycles per hour, it's just going to run longer.
Yeah.
And
Basically.
when it runs longer, I don't know, I've always got this thing running all the
It gets
time.
a chance to ramp. The other thing would be to set it up as a 2-stage, so that you have different airflow volumes.
It's 2-stage now. It's 2-stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got the 2.0, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have yet to run any of them. Well, I've played with adjusted airflow, and I figure if I can't get a 3-ton unit to dehumidify running 600 CFM, then increasing the airflow after a bit of runtime is not going to help either. But the Bosch Eco Air at my office is running 627 CFM on a 3-ton condenser, and it sucks. It does not pull humidity out.
You think it's oversized at your office?
Probably.
Yeah.
But that's part of the reason I dumped the airflow.
Yeah.
But my office leaks like crazy. It's got like 4,000 CFM leakage for 900 square feet.
Well, I'm not expert, but that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's a hardy amount of leakage. Is it like one of the office/warehouse deals?
Mm-hmm.
So you have like, is that where it's leaking out to the warehouse?
I don't know. I opened the door between the two and put the blower door in, and I got like 4,500. But I've actually thought about adding ductwork to the warehouse just to get more like proper sizing.
That's not a bad idea. You know, people do that where they say, "Hey, let's dump a couple outlets back there." You know, it's the expert. You know, you can tell that they're very detailed in design. Let's just dump some stuff out there and see what happens. But it might be a good idea in your case.
Yeah.
Just dump a couple 8s back there. Let them run. Cool down your equipment.
Run 2 12s.
Yeah, just put a couple 8s in the office. Run 2 12s in the back.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, are you going to do experiments like that with it, or are you at the point where it's like whatever?
I'm at the point where I'm about ready to rip it out and put in a 2-ton root or something.
Hey, I'm with you there. I like, man, the RP14. That's exactly what I'd put in here if I ripped out this sucker or win or whatever.
Well, the beauty of what you're dealing with, whatever your name is, Zach.
They call me Zach.
I'm losing my brain here at this
like
hour.
My mother. Terry, Matt, old Zach, whatever your name is.
You wouldn't have to replace anything but the condenser. I mean,
that's
the evaporator is... I think the Bosch air handlers are awesome. Yes, they are on the spendy side when you compare them to a Goodman, but
why would you do that?
The air handler is, like, from my perspective, bulletproof. I mean, it is a nice blue coil, 4 rows, got a nice, I don't know if the 2.0 has a X13 or a variable or whatever, but it's all very well built. The air handler's awesome. And if I wanted to pull a crane just to swap a condenser out, that might be what I should do, is just throw a 2-ton condenser on the roof and throw out the condenser.
Yeah. That'd be a good experiment.
I'm going to be getting a Bosch water heater anymore.
You're just going to protest against the entire brand?
Well, they were going to give me one, but they were supposed to do that in September, and I haven't heard a peep. So I'm thinking they...
well, I don't want to go on the devil's trail here, but why were they giving you a Bosch water heater?
Promotion.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like, hey, if we're going to give you this Bosch water heater, how about not mentioning our other Bosch products any longer? I didn't know if it was one of those deals.
No, just wanted to promote it.
I've heard, there's been people, and I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about me, but they've reached out to people on the internet, and they've been successful, not Bosch, but other companies, and getting them to remove videos for giving them really small sums of money. Yeah. Just going to be honest with you. So I wouldn't put it past anybody. So
I haven't had a cease and desist, though, so there's that.
Well, what can they say? You're telling the truth about a unit. I mean, I'm living in it, and you suffered through it. It's even worse for you because I can tinker around with mine and figure it out. And just to go back, Weaver said dehumidification is easy. Yeah, it is, but we're trying to work inside of the construct of let's use what we have. It's almost think of it like Apollo 13. You ever watch that movie? Steven, did you
Are
ever watch
you
Apollo?
asking me? Yes.
I'm asking you. Yes. Okay, you watched Apollo 13. That
I
wasn't
guess
clear.
you're not going to get answers from anybody else except for in the chat.
Well, after the lag, I would. No, Apollo 13, those guys are stuck up there, and this dude brings into this back room all the stuff that's in that space pod or whatever, and he dumps it on the table, says, we got to use this to build a new filtration system. That's all we have. That's how I feel about the Bosch. I want to use the Bosch to solve the problem because then that will prove that the Bosch can actually do it. But, like you had to do, you can just put a dehumidifier up there and the problem's solved too.
Right.
I mean, a standalone dehumidifier.
Sort of.
Yeah. Well, it does solve it, though, doesn't it?
Customers that I had to save from humidity problems, 2 of the 9, well, 8 got options. But 2 of them complained about high power bills after I put in the dehumidifier. They're like, this thing runs all the time. I'm like, yeah, your air conditioner doesn't do the job.
You think that's psychological because they don't draw a whole lot of power? Or do you think that just is true?
Well, you think about 8 amps 24/7, it starts adding up.
Hey, we got the technology here. 8 amps of 120
20.
volts. Man, Brian never answered my text, guys. So, I mean, don't follow him any longer. I'm just going to put that out there since I was looking at my phone. 120 times 8 amps times all the time, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Times. I hope I'm doing this right. 30 days a month, and to divide by. I suddenly have a lot of doubt on my calculation for some reason. I'm not even going to do this. I see it's a lot. Okay, they're right. I was getting halfway through the calculation. Was I calculating kilowatts, or did I not do that right?
So Jonathan Sanders asked a question about hot gas bypass. My belief is that the equipment should do the damn job. I'm not going to start chopping up a brand new air handler or condenser or Frankensteining hot gas bypass into a residential application to fix humidity problems. I'll throw a dehumidifier in there before I'll start screwing around with the refrigerant circuit.
That's Brent kept telling me, like, put the heat strips on in air conditioning mode, but it's like going down the same path. You're going to waste a bunch of electricity for your piece of crap Bosch that can't dehumidify. So,
if dehumidification is not an issue, is Bosch worth putting in? I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would say no. You just described the inverter boards you're changing out.
Yeah. I have yet to have one fail twice, but I've had 33% of my Bosch inverter boards fail.
If one fell twice, that's the problem. If the marker it hasn't failed 7 times yet, so it's
right.
all right.
Well, honestly, if I have 2 inverter boards for the same customer, I would rip that piece of shit out and put in an RP14. Like, I'm not going to continue these problems.
How much are you going to sacrifice on your end financially to appease the customer? Okay, because I know you're doing it, right. But I mean, there's got to be a line where it said, "All right, I'm going to go broke if I go this far." So, what are you willing to do? What if the boards start failing across the everybody starts having failed boards?
Well, they've got 11 years parts warranty, which right. I hate to throw away, but if I'm having to cash in on that 11 years parts warranty frequently, my reputation is worth a whole fuck ton more. Sorry.
That's our word for today, everybody.
My reputation is worth a lot more than, the cost of a condenser.
I agree with you. But you're ever in a bad spot or business is not going well, you may not have the luxury of doing that.
Right.
It's good
I
that
may
you
not
are.
do it for, $0, but I feel like it would be the right thing to do to, be like, I suggested this system and it's lost my faith. So,
Are you selling labor warranties along with your stuff?
my XV stuff automatically includes a labor warranty for 10 years.
The boss know though, or like just a standard, like 1 or 2 years or something.
Point.
Yeah.
They got an 11-year parts warranty, but no labor.
If it gets to the point where they're failing multiply, or maybe you're already at this point, are you charging them to put in the boards? It's reasonable to do so. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm just curious.
Yeah. The first 2 failed within the year of installing them, so no.
Right.
The third one, I did send the customer a bill, but they've yet to pay it. So, I don't know.
Right. That's a really tough spot. I remember going through this with Goodman. That's why I tell Goodman jokes, everybody. It's not it's because they're bad. They're like Bosch. And I had like one thing after another, and the customer just refused to pay. And and I'm a little bit at a loss because I gave him like a real big break on it. And I had to change, I think it was defrost controller 1 week after it got installed. It was froze up in the middle of winter time. It was like a nightmare. It's like right when I first went into business, I was like, this can't be right. What did I do? Is what I was thinking. And then the evaporator coil, and then the heat strips, had to replace those. It was just one thing after another. And it was just, there was nothing I could do at that point. I put in a ton of stuff. I think I was going to charge him like $240 to put a new evaporator in, with all that goes with that, and then the heat strips as well. I think I charged him like $70, and he still is like, it wasn't enough, and I felt horrible. But it's the equipment failing prematurely, and I've never had that sort of problem with any other brand. So,
one other thing that I've ceased to operate with, probably because of my own stupidity, but I haven't used Zoom lock. So if I have a system out there with the Zoom lock fitting that fails, I'll replace and repair that until they're all gone at no charge, because
have they failed?
It's workmanship. Oh yeah.
Tell me about that, because they're actually a sponsor of this show. But got to be truthful. Go ahead.
My opinion is mine, not yours, right?
Hey, but this is the area which you were just talking about. I'm going to replace the condenser because of my reputation. All right. These guys are a sponsor of the show. I've used them before. I haven't had issues with them. That being said, what happened to you? NorCal Zoom lock. I knew it. I'm going to play a Zoom lock ad right after you get done talking.
So, it seemed like cooling, everything was fine. But when we switched to heating, I started to get leaks on the end of the fitting, coming from, back in the O-ring. And cutting them open, the gasket did not seem to be damaged to cause a problem, but it simply did not seal. And it seemed to be related. When they went in, they were all tight and snug, but after the first heating cycle, they would wiggle.
You think it was the heat or the pressure or what?
I would go more towards pressure, but heat could make sense. And it may not be a Zoom lock problem because, as well as anybody, that the copper line sets are getting shittier by the year. Thinner copper in the line set and all that. And I think that it may be the line set was the issue rather than necessarily the Zoom lock. But if that connection leaks, and I was, the one that decided to use it, I'll fix that until all those fittings are gone at no charge, because that's a workmanship thing. Nick helped sell a duct system recently, and they called me up and they were like, so what's the warranty? And I was like, workmanship comes with a lifetime warranty. As long as you own the house, if something that we do fails because of workmanship, we will take care of it. If it's damage or whatever, but workmanship can be separated from almost any failure, right? If it's a manufacturer issue, it's not my fault. It's not my workmanship. But anyway.
Well, I would like you to maybe send me more information on your Zoom lock issue, because I'd like to tell them about it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to send it back to see if it needed a calibration.
Well, okay, let's.
But it's the one that you knew about. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's my fault.
But
joke's on you, man. Prank time.
Right.
Oh.
But it was imprinting the fittings like it's supposed to say that it's a good clamp, right? Like.
Well, let me ask you, can you group the failures in any particular group? Like they happened during this time period? Because, if it's like calibration issue, they would have all happened later on.
Right.
And if it were maybe heating season stuff, then it would all have been heat pumps.
They were all heat pumps.
So it couldn't be isolated to heat. But they're supposed to take I forget how many. It's like 250 degrees or something, I think.
Right.
The HNBR O-rings. I hope I'm getting that right. And the pressure on the heat pumps is, what do you think? It could be anywhere it can be over 400 PSI. It could be near 500 PSI and things going wrong and stuff for 410.
Yeah.
So I think the high pressure cutouts are like 550, 575 PSI, somewhere in there. But they're tested at way higher than that. So
right.
That's interesting. I know NorCal's at home going I knew the whole time. I knew it, man. I knew the whole time.
Right. But the pressure test, their pressure test to failure, I don't think it had any heat on it. Like, it was just a pressure test. There was no heating cycle operation, no temperature change.
Yeah.
I don't know. It pissed me off enough that I took the press off my truck, and I just hadn't had the time or thought about it much since.
Well, RJ actually makes a really good point here. Although his avatar doesn't have a face, he says maybe thermal cycling during defrost, because you have the changes in temperature going back and forth. Because are these all suction fittings?
I think so.
So that puts them into yet another group. So it's heat pumps, hot gas line, wintertime. So going back and forth, NorCal, going back and forth. That's it's pretty good. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You have a little bit of contraction and flexing. Tell your wife to just jump on the video. Tell her to come on.
Everybody wants to say hello.
Yeah.
Do you want to say hello?
What'd you say? No. She's like, huh? Nah.
She said, huh? Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh. Where is she?
She'll come in over here.
It's like,
you want to come back there?
Where's she going? Where's she at? It's like, everybody's like, where'd she go? Oh, there she goes. Now I met two people that have been to Africa.
He's met two people that have been to Africa.
Actually, that's not true. My family went on mission trips. My wife's family, so I know like 20 people that have been to Africa, and I have been to New York and Pennsylvania. I like Medley down there's like, I never had a weld break from thermal cycling. Well, we don't know if that's what it was, but that'll be my working theory whenever I send it to the Zoom, which is RLS now. It's not Zoom lock anymore because Sporland's branched off into another type of fitting.
Oh yeah. So my
And they do the
contact
push ones.
probably doesn't exist anymore. So
Well,
yeah,
it's not Sporlan, but they do make, like Roger said, what about the quick connect fittings? I don't trust that at all. I mean, I don't know. There's no basis for that. It's just my instinct is to stay away.
shark bite.
Refrigeration shark bites is what I actually call them. Refrigeration shark bites. That's right, man.
Sean Peterson says I married up big time.
We all did, man. We're in the trades. Every single one of us that got a wife married up.
Otherwise, you're still single, right?
You're still single. You're just bouncing around.
Hey, if I wasn't married, I would work 24/7. Like, that's what tells you to go home otherwise, right?
So is that, do you just love it that much, or you just don't like being at home doing nothing or whatever?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, when you come home, what do you do? What's your procedure? Are you like one of the guys? Do you go outside and chop down trees? What do you do?
No. When I don't have the need to sleep, I will turn on the PlayStation.
I'll play. What do you play on PlayStation?
I'm into the 7 Days to Die, the Ark Survival Evolved, more of a what is that? Survival, zombie apocalypse type open world MMORPG.
I don't understand anything you just said. I don't know what it is.
That's hilarious. Open world's role playing game.
I really don't know what you're talking about at all. I played when I was a kid. I like role playing games. I thought Final Fantasy was the greatest series that was ever made, but I haven't played to like the last 10 of them. I think the second one was really good, but I don't know. I don't know anything you just said. Maybe my kids have an Xbox. I played Fortnite a few times, and the other kids, like other 8-year-olds in different parts of the world, were using me as a bullet pin cushion. I could not hit anybody. I was like an idiot. Literally, Steven, if I had an actual gun, I would do much better at war than in this game. You know, I would be better out there. And yes, I am taking notes, and I draw pictures too. I tell you people this. Why are you asking me that? I say every time I do an interview, I draw pictures. It helps me focus. This is me focused, by the way.
Nick, Zach is focused.
This is it. Well, you know, focus is all relative. So before you say, well, I don't know, just imagine what I'd be like otherwise. So it could be really, really bad. But, you know, I love to play games too. I like Contra. Contra is a good game. I like Mario 3. It's pretty good. I beat that game and then sold it before my brothers could beat it. I thought that was funny. That was 1992. And that's it. That was the end. That was it. I did have a PlayStation 2, actually, but I sold it, or it died or something.
I would have bought a PlayStation 5 already if I could find one.
Oh yeah, that's pretty hard to come by. That's the latest and greatest, right? PlayStation 5. So
you can get an Xbox latest before you will ever find a PlayStation for some reason.
What is the Xbox latest? What's it called?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know if we have that or not. I think we have the Xbox One. I don't think that's the latest and greatest, though.
No, there's something. I have no idea. I'm not even going to speculate. Not an Xboxer.
Well, I don't know.
I grew up on Gran Turismo. When I got my first PlayStation, I put however many hours are in a year into Gran Turismo 2. I played the hell out of that game.
I don't know which one that is, but I did play Gran Turismo.
It was Xbox or PlayStation 2.
I probably did play that.
Actually, PlayStation, the original PlayStation was Gran Turismo 2.
I don't remember what the game was called, but Gran Turismo, whichever one I played, was really good. I really liked that. In fact, I remember specifically that I could actually win one of the races because these races would be like 200 laps. They're like real races.
The endurance races, yeah.
Well, I wanted to earn whatever it is you earn by winning those. But I remember I had a car that was fast enough where I could actually just leave the button pressed down. It would ride the outside of the thing and I could go eat. And it would win the race still. So that was pretty good.
Go eat.
I would, go eat or something. That was back when I could be skinny and eat as much as I wanted. That was nice. That was
before metabolism.
Yeah, my metabolism, when I turned 25 it's like, all right, let's go from 100. Let's bring her down to 50. And then when I was 30, it's like, let's just turn it off. You know, I was like, whew, you know. But, well, we're in the weeds now. Let's see, what are we going to do? Is it just time to pull the plug, or do we have a great last subject to talk about, Steven? What's the deal? Man, he like froze up, or is he asleep? No.
Yeah, one of those.
Hey, every time you made a video, you would look like you were just at death's door, how tired you were. Did you get that a lot? Because you would do the video in the car on the way home. It's like, it's 4:00 in the morning. That's what it felt like whenever you're watching it.
Yeah.
It's like, you just look like the most tired dude ever. So, I mean, how many hours a day are you working?
I'm actually not working a lot anymore. Outside of like a 9 to 5 or 6. When I was at Cape Fear, I had more hours in a day than any human should, because I had an 1.5-hour drive from home to any job site, and then an 1.5-hour drive back home, because I went from Holly Springs to Fayetteville.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Every single day. I got up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. to get to my first call by 8.
That's no good. So that's why you look so rough. No offense or anything, but you look tired.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have bags under my eyes, but I burned the candle, I guess.
Yeah, you just love it so much. You just love air conditioners so much. Man.
So I had a week where my wife had vacation, but I didn't. Several years back. And I was like, awesome. Have the house to myself, and I'm just going to play PlayStation every minute that I'm not working. I got bored within like 2 hours, and I went outside and rebuilt my fence. And the wife came home. She's like, so what'd you do all week? I was like, look at the backyard.
Yeah. See, that sounds like me. Because my thing is, I don't like to sit around. I like to I'll come in here and do whatever I can do as far as getting the shows ready or whatever I can figure out, or I'll go outside. And my latest kick has been, I'm beautifying this yard. This yard's going to be, it's on the parade of homes or whatever. They don't do that out here, obviously. But everything had like the overgrowth. I've had electric chainsaw, Roby, guys. Put the chain back on. Put the chain back on. Whatever, it's fine. They're working on it. And I've got this whole yard up. It looks beautiful, man. There's flowers over in the corner, but I like it. Now I'm cutting coils up from the scrap yard from back in the day. I'm going through there. We have a video in the morning about scrapping because I was cutting coils up. It's just I don't like to sit. I don't like, because my wife likes to watch like television shows. It's like, let's watch a movie. I don't like that. I mean, once I get into the movie, it's fine, but I like to do something. I like to do something at the end of it. I can track progress, or I've done something where I said, all right, now we've gone from here to here. Like you watch a movie, it's like, oh, there's an 1.5 hours gone, or 2 hours or whatever. Okay. I don't know. I guess I'm like the detective Al Pacino played in the movie Heat. It's like, just never goes home from work. He just keeps working on cases forever. That's who I am. Plus, that movie's cool.
I feel more like Dave Attell in Insomniac.
Yeah, you look more like an Insomniac. I don't know why it is I thought of that, but I remember a particular video where you got called out in the middle of the night, and you were driving home, like talking, like doing the vlog part of the video, where you kind of talk about what happened, and you just looked like you were just going to go home and die, and you were just going to be there on the floor. It's like,
yeah. Well, the bad thing about that is I had more hours than I've had anywhere else because of drive time. And then I was editing videos on top of that. Like, if I was not sleeping when I got home, I was taking all the footage I got that day and starting to chop it up to create a half-ass piece of shit video.
No, I mean, your videos are good. In fact, no, man. Oh, man. He's humble. It's like masked humility. He knows they're good. People like them. RJ's over here saying, I liked Rardon's crawl space videos, especially the ones where he crawled around while narrating. Always great content. So, okay, you can't do those anymore, but why not, like, if you see something interesting, take like a minute video and just put it on YouTube. Why not do that?
I could, but part of it is that I'm out of practice. Like, when you're shooting all the time, you feel like you have to keep shooting. But towards the end, when I stopped posting almost entirely for like cold turkey, I shot video. I had like 30 days worth of content on the camera. I just didn't have time to go back and edit it. And I lost my thought process on that edit, because I always tried to keep in mind that that's half the reason I got home and started editing, because I had like, I want to do this, this, and this with these clips. I need to make sure I get the photo from my phone and bring that in and chop it in here. And so when you lose track of what your edit was supposed to be, and you're like, well, if it's not what I wanted to do, then I don't want to post it. So,
Are you a creature of habit, Stephen? Do you do the same routine daily?
I wake up at 2:30 in the morning to take a piss, and I get on my phone and check my thermostat for my customers, because figure if I'm awake, maybe they'll have a service call the next day.
Now, how often do you really do that?
Almost every night.
So you're that's pretty interesting. So no, okay. Well, when you get up in the morning, is it like the same routine every day?
Pretty much.
Well, I'm just curious, because people of habit, it's hard to go from one style of personality to another. So if you're used to crawling around in a crawl space and making 5 hours of video that you have to condense down into 30 minutes, which takes like half your life to do, it's hard to go in there and say, I'm going to post one like this. Say, hey guys, check out this gas valve. It's awesome. And then just like upload that and have that be it. I can sort of understand, but you can do that, Stephen. You can retrain your mind. Set yourself free. You ever watch that movie Lucy? Just get whatever she took, and then you can take that too. It'll work.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie, but for some reason it intrigues me. Like that's really possible or something. No, but it's. I think, I don't know. I mean, my opinion of when I hear you talk, it's like you kind of moved on from this whole scene, and that anytime you come back to it, it's almost like a reminiscing time. It's like, here's a video, guys. You remember me. It's like, but I'm, not greater or lesser, just different,
Right.
But hey, look at this. When is Steven going to post a new video?
Yep.
All right, Steven, make one video that's 1 minute long every month, and that'll be fine.
Okay. I will try to find some old footage.
You won't even make new footage. Come on, just make new footage. Just go out there. The next call you do in the morning. Right. What are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow I am relocating a package unit.
Okay. So make one of them time elapse things that you like.
Right.
You could just.
So this guy is taking his crawl space, which is with like a 15-foot ceiling, and turning it into a basement. And he's got a gas pack that the plenums coming off of the pack are at least 8 inches into where he wants to pour his concrete slab. But I'm still waiting on his new XV equipment to show up, so I can't do anything about switching the pack to a split. We're going to put 2 8-inch cinder blocks under the pack to lift it up high enough that they can get their concrete poured and not have to disconnect the pack.
Oh, man.
Hold them over until the crap shows up.
Well, a lot of people in the chat are really concerned about how many systems you're taking a look at while you take a leak at night. So how many systems are you actually checking? They're thinking that's maybe just the Bosch ones, because that's the most concerning ones. How many do you go through?
I've got 39 or 40 thermostats that I monitor through my Nexia portal.
Oh, that's a lot. That's gonna get to bed at 3:30. You're gonna be up for a while.
Yeah, I usually stay up until about 5, and then I wish I hadn't stayed awake at all and gone back to sleep.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's kind of rough.
Well, you get stuck there sitting on the crapper, scrolling.
Your legs get numb. I'm trapped. Yeah. So completely different subject. I saw NorCal saying, how are the Vipers? I was thinking, now when you have your 40th birthday party, are you going to have the 100-watt Vipers play?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Hey.
Maybe I should do like a meet and greet for my 40th birthday.
I'd go to that. I'm right down the street. So
What do they do? What do they call them when YouTubers do an arena show?
An arena show? How many people you plan on coming? Arena show?
I don't know. Whenever we sent out invitations for our wedding 20 years ago, I expected like 5 people to show up, and there was like 150 or something. I was
holy crap,
Jesus, and that was before YouTube. But
that was before YouTube. I'm just going to tell you, man.
It would be fun though to get a chance to hang out. I think the problem now is damned COVID. Trying to not get arrested for having a gathering of more than 10 people or whatever it is.
Well, you know what? Did you get your vaccination, Stephen?
No comment.
Oh, let's talk about this. No, I'm fully vaccinated, Stephen. Don't you want the government nanotechnology injected into your body so it can monitor you at all times, just like your Nexia?
I do not.
Okay.
That's actually a great idea, Nick. The garage mahal.
Yeah, we saw that last time you were on here. We saw that picture of that garage, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Nick Rowan again, if that's possible.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
And
I haven't seen him forever.
David, I want to see David Faraday.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. And you guys could sing my theme song while I walk in. That's his idea originally.
Right.
And who else is there up there? I don't remember, but those are the 2 that came to mind. Good guys.
Okay.
So,
Eagle Mechanical.
that's good. Quan.
Yeah,
good.
Quan.
I've never met him before. Maybe that Deacon David Randolph from Goldsboro could come up there.
Right.
It's on the way there.
Yeah.
All these people are coming back.
There'd be a lot more people that would be willing to make a trip for a hangout with,
a former YouTuber.
Chips and salsa.
They're asking where you're located. If you were comfortable saying, however,
I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
There you go. Try to find him now, guys. That's a big spot.
Hey, there's business listings that you can't hide.
Oh, that's true. You can go see that E-Core, which is the Bosch unit on top of his office. If you vandalize it, I'm pretty sure insurance will pay for your new one then. Hey, you know what I'm thinking?
Not that we're condoning that sort of activity.
I mean, Steven's not involved, but if you guys happen to get all fed up with what we're talking about and knock it off the roof, then pretty sure an RP14 is a lot cheaper than that unit. It might not be. It probably isn't a whole lot cheaper, but they're raising the prices on you probably here soon. Be careful. 3%, 6%, 8%. Poor Steven. We got to turn this off. You look like you're about to fall asleep already. Poor Steven.
Yeah, I was supposed to be in bed an hour ago.
Why don't you say so? I could shut it off earlier.
I'm having fun.
I'm having fun too. But yeah, it's good. It's 10:30 because I'll be in bed here soon too. So, all right. Well, I'll let you get back to saving up for your PlayStation 5. Get your COVID shot. Not that Johnson & Johnson though.
Right.
That thing's kind of rough on people.
I don't want that one. Well, when they do a recall for something like that, you can't get it anymore, right?
That's right. No, it was paused. That's the terminology. Instead of saying killing folks, we say paused. We've paused this because of its lethal nature or something. I don't know. Have a COVID inoculation party.
That's awesome.
I don't mind it. I don't mind getting together with 150 people that all have an understanding that they're together and they chose to be there. So that's fine. And plus our Constitution says we can. So the heck with it. I'm a Constitution kind of guy. And if it says freedom to assemble, hey, that's fine. If they ask us something, we just say we're protesting something. Then they'll let us know.
We're protesting this massive garage.
Like, what are we protesting? Somebody goes, tick, 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 tick. Taxes. We're protesting taxes. So, Roger will buy the barbecue. Okay. Well, let's stick a fork in this sucker. I'm gonna let you go, Stephen, because I know it's late and I had to do like 2 minutes of talk about, links in the description, which I didn't do at the beginning because I want people to stay and watch the show. So now they've stayed this long, then I can probably get them to, listen to me about the links for a couple minutes, and I'll announce about a giveaway.
Cool.
That'll do it.
But yeah, somebody was asking about, could I come see or visit or whatever? If we did something, it would be advertised in places. So
yeah, where? On your YouTube channel? Nothing happens there.
There's almost 49,000 people that are over there.
I know. Hey, I'm sweating it out on YouTube. I get 1 subscriber a week, and people that quit YouTube get like 1,000 a month. I'm like, well, this is fair.
It's been real fun, guys. Appreciate you coming out to hang out with me. Absolutely. I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, man. I'll let you go. I appreciate it too, man. I'll talk to you here soon. Okay.
All right. Later.
All right. Later, dude. That was our buddy Steven. All right. The show is now over. Almost. Don't go anywhere because we're giving away NAVAC gauges because, frankly, they're analog gauges and I already have stubbies that I like to use. I don't need any NAVAC gauges, and here they are. See, it's not a lie. They're analog too. So into A4 manifold gauge, we're going to do that. We're not doing it tonight. I just want to announce when. It is on Saturday night. We're going to have another live stream interview. So catch us then. And us is in me. I don't know, us like we're a huge company here at Shop Talk. Yeah, it's me. We'll be back on Saturday night. And let me see if there's anything else. How much weight have I lost? Man, I love people to notice I lost weight because it makes me feel validated for all this friggin' work I've done over the last few months. I have lost, according to the scale this morning, 43 pounds. 43 pounds. I've gone from 278 to 235 and being 6'3". All right. I'm on the right course. So I'd like to be maybe 10 or 20 more pounds, and I feel pretty happy. I was out playing sports today with my daughter, and that was encouraging because if you would have found me last year at this time, I wouldn't have been able to do any of the stuff. I've been wheezing and stuff, which is horrible. And I think a lot of us are in that position. And the encouragement is that if I can actually do this, and any one of you who have the same problem can surely do it as well. If you see in the chat, and I'll highlight it here, probably the biggest thing you can do is sign up for the live stream notifications, because I'll text you before every show, so you don't have to worry about YouTube screwing it up or whatever. If you didn't receive a text and you signed it up. If you didn't receive a text and you signed up, then there's probably an issue with your carrier blocking email to text transmissions. And if you're curious about that, you can always email me at hvacshoptalk@gmail.com, or you can text me at 910-970-0043, and I can check on it for you, because I won't know if you didn't get it unless I just go in there and check each one of them. Okay. How about Jackson? Jackson, we had to go to the emergency room the other day. He had a fever. It's high, but for kids, little kids tend to have fevers that are higher than older kids. And the threshold for danger is a little bit higher for little kids. So they can have a little bit higher fever and it's tolerable. So between 103 and 104 is like the danger zone. But when you get to 105, the red lights start blinking. So his was 103.5, I believe, at its peak. So we took him to the emergency room, and he had an upper airway infection and an ear infection, which was causing the fever. His body was fighting the infection. So they gave him some antibiotics. Where we were rotating Tylenol and ibuprofen, which is what you do for children to keep the fever down. You rotate it a little bit more than you would normally, because you're just doing a short burst of intense medication. And if you were to use Tylenol or ibuprofen excessively for long periods of time, it can, of course, damage your internal organs. But the need is to bring the fever down, which it did. He feels much better today. He was back to his old self. I don't think he had a fever at all, so he's doing really, really good. Thank you, NorCal. I appreciate that. It's a good job, Zach. We have a lot of fun. We'll be back on Saturday night. We're going to have Curtis Bowers. He's a hoot. We're going to have a talk, and we'll give away those NAVAC gauges then. Nicholas says, analog is in the past. Donate them to a museum. My feeling is... Oh, Stephen, I had fun too. My feeling is that this will make a good secondary set. And that's how I would use them personally. I would have digitals as the primary set and then have these as a fail-safe, or if you just want to check something like real quick and you don't want to put the effort of having everything on there. I like probes. I think probes are awesome. So I'd go with the probes. Let's see if there's any other questions. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate it. Been working hard, man. Working hard. Peace out, Steven. A lot of fun bringing Steven on here. Just want to check the comments real quick. I think we're good. So yeah, if you can sign up for live notifications, that's probably the biggest thing to tell you. We have some other links in the description. I think you can check those out. If you need to contact me, Jonathan said I'm giving to a new guy. That's a good idea. If you need to contact me, like I said, there's text, and both of those things are in the description. So instead of trying to listen to me rattle off numbers, you can text me or you can email me. It's all in the description. Okay, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I will be back on Saturday night to have a good time with Curtis. We'll give away those gauges, and I think that's about it. Thank you for stopping by. Had a lot of fun with Steven. Appreciate anybody stopping by and watching the show. It's really, really cool. It's really, really fun. We have a good time, and I'll just cut it off here. I'll see you guys on the next one.